In the quiet seaside town of Cresthaven, where the waves whispered secrets to the shore and the lighthouse stood as a steadfast guardian, lived a girl named Marinet. She was 16, with eyes like the stormy sea and hair that caught the sunlight like spun gold. Marinet was known for her quiet demeanor, often seen sketching the cliffs or collecting smooth pebbles along the beach. But what truly defined her was a warmth that radiated in small, unspoken acts of kindness. Like wildflowers blooming in forgotten corners, Cresthaven was a place where time seemed to drift lazily. The fishing boats returned with lighter hauls each year, and the market square buzzed with murmurs of worry. Families struggled silently, and the community center, once vibrant, now sagged with peeling paint and a leaky roof. Marinet noticed these things, her heart attuned to the unspoken needs around her. She wasn't one for grand gestures or loud declarations. Instead, she moved through the world like a gentle tide, touching lives in ways that rippled outward. One chilly autumn morning, Marinet overheard Mrs. Calder, the baker, talking to a neighbor about her grandson Tim, who hadn't spoken since his father's fishing boat was lost in a storm 2 years prior. Tim, only 10, spent his days staring out at the sea, as if waiting for answers the waves couldn't give. Marinette's heart ached for him. That evening, she sat at her desk, sketching a picture of a boat sailing under a sky full of stars, each one glowing with hope. She slipped the drawing into an envelope with a note. "The stars always guide you home." The next day, she left it on Tim's doorstep unsigned. Tim found the drawing and pinned it to his wall. It didn't make him speak, but his grandmother noticed a flicker in his eyes, a softening. Marinet didn't stop there. Every few days, a new sketch appeared. A lighthouse beaming through fog, a dolphin leaping from the waves, each with a note about light, courage, or dreams. Tim began carrying the sketches with him, and one day he whispered thank you to the air, though he didn't know who to thank. Marinet, watching from a distance, smiled and kept her secret. Her kindness didn't end with Tim. At school, Marinet saw how Lila, a shy transfer student, sat alone at lunch, her books her only company. Marinet remembered her own first days in Cresthaven, feeling like a fish out of water. One day she slid a bookmark she naughty made, pressed seaweed, and a tiny shell glued to sturdy paper, into Lila's math book when she wasn't looking. The next day she left a note. "You're not alone here." Over weeks, Marinet found small ways to draw Lila out, inviting her to sketch by the beach, sharing a thermos of hot cocoa. Lila began to laugh, her walls crumbling, and soon she was joining others at lunch, her voice no longer a stranger. Marinette's acts were quiet, but they wove a thread through Cresthaven. When old Mr. Harrow, who ran the community center, fell ill, the town faced losing its heart. The center was where kids played after school, where elders swapped stories, where the town held its winter festival. Marinet couldn't bear the thought of it closing. She left handwritten flyers on doorsteps, each with a tiny sketch of the center glowing with life. To her surprise, people showed up. Lila with her classmates, Mrs. Calder with a tray of muffins, even Tim carrying a broom taller than himself. A fisherman offered to patch the roof. A carpenter fixed the sagging stage. Marinet kept the momentum going, leaving notes to encourage donations. A jar of coins here, a stack of lumber there. She sketched posters for a fundraiser, each one vibrant with the town's spirit. The lighthouse, the boats, the faces of Cresthaven. The fundraiser night was a mosaic of kindness. Lila sang a song she'd written. Tim handed out programs, his first public act since his silence. The center was saved not by one grand act, but by the collective small ones Marinet had inspired. Word of Marinette's quiet deeds spread. People began leaving their own anonymous gifts. A basket of apples for a neighbor, a knitted scarf for a stranger. Cresthaven felt warmer, as if Marinette's kindness had kindled a fire that spread. One evening, as she sat on the beach, sketching the sunset, Tim approached, clutching her latest drawing. "I know it's you," he said softly. "Why don't you tell anyone?" Marinet shrugged, her cheeks pink. "It's not about me. It's about us." Years later, Cresthaven would tell stories of that autumn, when a girl named Marinet reminded them that kindness could be as simple as a sketch, a note, or a moment of seeing someone's need. The community center stood strong, Tim found his voice, and Lila became a teacher, passing on the warmth she'd found. Marinet, now a young woman, still walked the beach, leaving pebbles and patterns for others to find. Her quiet acts a reminder that kindness, like the tide, returns again and again. shaping the world in its gentle, persistent way.